like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
What's up, guys? It's MD Shady from Funko Podcast, and today we have another great video for you. We're going to be doing a which is better video between San Diego Comic-Con pops from 2019 and 2020. But before that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new here, and hit that little notification bell to be notified when future content like this video gets released. But anyways, guys, let's check it out. So basically, if you guys don't know, I'm going to be comparing the pops from 2019 and compare them to 2020, and then at the end of the video I will tell you which year I thought was better. The pops this year, 2020, were kind of a little bit limited, so we're not including any Conan pops or any Fun Days Freddy Funkos, but the categories that we do have are Ad Icons, Animation, Disney, Games, Marvel and DC, Movies, TV, and then a miscellaneous category of some of the other pops that don't really fit into one of those categories. I'm going to cut 2020 a little bit of slack when I'm doing this list because everything that's going on, there's not as many pops, but there's still some good quality pops in there. Also, because of some of these categories that have a lot of pops, I'm not going to talk about every pop. I'm just going to talk about the ones that personally appeal to me, basically, or ones that I thought were cool anyways. So I will be looking at my phone because I have kind of the comparison shots from each category. I have a 2019 list and a 2020 list, and that'll make it a little easier for me to decide. We're going to start off with the Ad Icons. In 2019, we had the Otter Pop of Louis Blue Raspberry, which is a really, really awesome pop. I really, really want this pop, and it was limited to 1,000 pieces. It's getting up there, well over $400 at this point, I'm pretty sure, and I do want this pop because I do have the rest of them. And then the Peter Pez, that's a really cool one as well. And then you have the Toucan mascot with just the shirt that says San Diego Comic-Con, which is actually a decent pop. Then for 2020, you have 3 toucans, which is kind of pushing it a little bit. You have the superhero one, which is alright. And then the astronaut, which is also pretty cool. But then you have that red astronaut. If you haven't listened to our most recent podcast, we kind of talked about some of the controversy over this pop. I'm not going to get into it right now. Yeah, it's not very good, so that kind of dampens 2020 in that aspect. But then there's Jackbox from Jack in the Box, which this is one of my favorite ad icons to date. It's definitely up in probably my top 10 list for ad icons. Really, really love this pop. Even though 2019 had the Louis Blue Raspberry, which I think is a really, really cool pop, and it's a very expensive pop that I do want. And the Peter Pez, there's only 3 pops, whereas 2020 actually had more ad icons somehow. I'm going to give it to 2020 just because I really, really love that Jackbox pop. So now we're moving on to animation. 2019 had 12 pops, 2020 only had 3 pops. So for animation in 2019, we have the 2 Flintstones pops with Hoppity the Hopperoo and the Baby Puss. Love these pops. I love the Flintstone lineup. I really, really want to collect it, and I think both of these pops were really, really cool, and I didn't really think we'd see characters like that from the Flintstones. Disenchantment, we have Bean, and that's really awesome. Love that show as well, so it was really cool to see that. The Chrome Red Vegeta, which I actually own that pop, but I'm not a huge fan of Chrome Pops anyway, so it's kind of meh. Then we have Gluty from Rick and Morty, which is a cool character to see. And then there's a few other ones that are nice. One in specifically is Lazy Luke from Wacky Racers. That's a really, really cool looking pop. It's not my forte, but it is a really, really nice looking pop. Then for 2020, like I said, there's only 3 pops. SSG Goku, which is really, really cool. He's got like this nice fire background, which is sweet. I might end up getting this pop. I haven't really decided yet. The My Hero Academia pop, Bakugo, I believe is how you pronounce his name. This pop is really, really detailed. It's really, really cool to see new My Hero Academia pops coming out, and they're always so detailed, especially when they're con exclusives. And then we have Scaramouche from Samurai Jack. This is a really cool pop as well. I don't think I'll pick this one up because I kind of only want that 2-pack of Aku and Samurai Jack, which is worth $115 now, Canadian. I could see this one going up as well because it's Toy Tokyo and Samurai Jack pops. Just looking at the first one, it's probably going to go up in price. This one's pretty easy for me. I do think 2019 deserves the debut for this category of animation. I know there's a lot more pops, there's a lot more to choose from, but I feel like there's a lot more quality with the Flintstones pops and the Bean, and there's something for everyone in animation last year, so 2019 takes it. So now we're moving on to Disney. Last year there were 6 pops, and 2 of them were 2-packs, and 1 of them was a pop ride, so that's really, really cool. And then this year there's only 2 pops, but they're both pretty good. So starting with 2019, There's Moana. This Pop Rides is really, really cool. I do have it on my wish list because I think there's a lot of detail on the boat, and there's like 3 technically characters on the boat, so that's really, really cool to see. There's 2 Toy Story Pops. If you guys don't know, me and DK both love Toy Story, and we both love the Toy Story Pops. You have Chuckles. I never would have thought we'd see Chuckles as a Pop because he's not really a huge main character in Toy Story, but to see him in Pop form is really, really nice, and it's honestly one of the best Toy Story Pops. Also, Mr. Pricklepants, love the character and love this Pop. Quasimodo is another really, really good one from 2019 from Disney. Looks awesome. We both popped huge for Quasimodo. And then the Carl and Ellie 2-pack. I love the movie Up. I don't really plan on collecting a lot of the Pops, but I know a lot of people really, really love this 2-pack. Then for 2020, you have the Alien Remix line. There's Alien in Kevin's outfit, I guess. Kevin is obviously the bird from Up. It's a cool Pop. I like how there's like 5 eyes on this Pop, technically, because you have the 2 eyes on the costume and then the 3 eyes for the aliens. And then this Pop, I popped huge for this. It's Yzma as Kat from Emperor's New Groove, one of my favorite Disney movies. She's got that vial of like the potion there that changes you into different animals. The facial expression on it looks awesome. I can't wait to own this Pop. It is one of my favorites. If I had to look through the Disney and give one a winner, this is really close because I do like that Alien as Kevin, and I really do love the Yzma as Kat. But I think 2019 has to win it. I own 2 of those Pops, and I plan on owning up to 4 of them from 2019 in the Disney category, so 2019. So now we're moving on to games, and I know I said 2020 kind of had less Pops, but for some reason they got more games Pops than last year. So starting off with 2019, we have McCree. It's the summer skin, and it's basically the Sandy Bleep Mother Bleep. It says on the belt, he's like the beach kind of lifeguard skin. Love this Pop. That's probably my favorite skin of McCree from Overwatch. Amazing to see it. And then we have the glow-in-the-dark Loot Llama. That's also a decent Pop because Loot Llamas obviously sell very, very well. There's tons of Loot Llama merchandise. Fortnite is a huge game. And then to make it glow-in-the-dark, that's just, let's say if they're aiming towards little kids, they're really going to want a glow-in-the-dark Loot Llama over the basic common Loot Llama. So glow-in-the-dark makes sense. Then in 2020, we have another Fortnite Pop. We have Ripley, which is a really cool design, but I think the Loot Llama is a little bit better in that aspect. 2 Pokemon Pops, both flocked, Vulpix and Mewtwo. Vulpix makes sense to be flocked, but Mewtwo to me just doesn't make sense. He's kind of like, I get it, he's kind of like a cat in a sense, but he's more of like an alien. He was breeded in a test tube, obviously, or whatever. He just doesn't make sense to be furry, in my opinion, so I don't know why they decided to go flocked with this one. But then we have this 2-pack, which is really, really awesome, and that is Super Tails and Super Silver from Sonic the Hedgehog. Awesome 2-pack. I love it. Really, really want to get it. And then the Critical Role Pop. It was really, really cool to see a Pop being made from Critical Role. I did not think that would happen. This one's actually a tough one because basically I'm comparing the 2 Fortnite Pops together from 2019 and 2020, and then I'm comparing the 2-pack of the Sonic Pops kind of to the Overwatch Pop because I don't really love flocked Pokemon Pops, so I'm not really counting them because they don't really mean that much to me. And then the Critical Role one's kind of just meh, in my opinion. I think 2019 is going to have to take it, though, just because I really, really love that McCree, and that Loot Llama would sell so much more than the Ripley, in my opinion, so it was just smarter in 2019. So now we're going to move on to the kind of superhero category of Marvel and DC kind of mashed up into one category because there's not a ton of Pops that got released, obviously. So in 2019, you have the like teal chrome Batman, and then you have the Batman where he's kind of holding the bag from San Diego Comic-Con, which is really, really cool. And like I normally say on our videos, like Pops like that is really, really cool, especially if you went to the con, because it's kind of like a memory piece where you can be like, oh, I remember when I went to this con, and look, so does Batman, because he's holding the bag. The Man Thing, which is another really, really cool Pop. A lot of detail in this Pop. He's a bigger Pop, so you kind of get a little more bulk for the price that you're paying for it. And then the other Pops in 2019, I'm not really going to list all of them, just because they're kind of mediocre to me. Gamora is really cool, though. I do like that one. 2020 Pops for Marvel and DC were really, really good. They did not get the short end of the stick this year. You have Stan Lee in his first cameo from Iron Man 1, which is a ridiculously cool Pop. The Zombie Thing, I believe it's a 10-inch. Just so much detail. Not as great as you would think it would be, but it's still really, really cool. The Nightcrawler, really, really cool. It's a little bit better than the one we seen just a couple of months ago. The Mr. Freeze, which is a glitter pop. Now, it makes a lot of sense for Mr. Freeze to be glitter because it kind of looks like snow or frozen ice. But apparently this pop didn't turn out as good as the glam shot, but just by looking at the glam shot, this is a really, really, really cool pop. And then the Cyborg Superman is also a really, really cool detailed pop. You kind of have the half Superman and the half Cyborg. I remember this because my dad used to collect a lot of Superman stuff. It's kind of nostalgic for me in that sense, and it looks really, really good. Honestly, this is an easy one. 2020 takes it for DC and Marvel. They got a lot of really, really good pops this year. Moving on to movies, there's a lot of banger pops in both these years. There's some great pops. Starting with 2019, we have a 2-pack of the Vegan Police from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Really, really cool pops to see. Love seeing new Scott Pilgrim pops come out like twice, maybe 3 times a year. The Sticky Note Man from Office Space is also a really, really cool pop. Bearded Forrest Gump, super cool. When the first lineup of Forrest Gump pops came out, I was like, where's a bearded Forrest Gump? And then we finally got one last year. Derek Zoolander from Zoolander as a mermaid, hilarious. Didn't think we'd ever see a pop like that, and it's really, really cool because I have the first Zoolander pops, like the base set, I guess you'd call it. Seeing this one is just awesome to add to that collection. And then the Jaws shark biting Quint, really, really awesome. You see blood everywhere. He's kind of hanging out of the shark's mouth. He's got like a machete or a sword of some sort. Just a lot of detail on this pop, and I feel like you really get a bang for your buck with this pop. Then moving on to 2020, there's the Jay and Silent Bob reboot pop, the Iron Bob, which is alright, but it's not a pop that I think I'd get, even though I am a huge fan of Jay and Silent Bob. We have another Scott Pilgrim pop. It's Wallace Wells. Marty McFly checking his watch, basically doing the pose on the front cover of the movie poster. Really, really awesome pop as well. And then pops that I didn't think we'd ever see because I thought we already had them, honestly. Anchorman, and there's 5 Anchorman pops, which is a huge announcement for con pops, honestly. Brian Fantana, and it's scented, so that's going to be really, really cool to see what it actually smells like. There's 3 different Ron Burgundies. You have kind of his normal outfit. You have one with the flu, and then one where he's in his pajamas. Brick Tamland, which is really, really cool as well. Love Steve Carell, so it's cool to see more pops of him. This is another hard one to decide. I think I gotta give it to 2020. The Back to the Future pop of Marty is really, really cool, where he's checking his watch. And then that Anchorman set is also really, really cool. So now we're moving on to TV, which again has a lot of really, really cool pops. 2019 announced the 5-pop set of The Big Bang Theory, where they're all wearing like DC character costumes, which is a really, really nice set. If you love The Big Bang Theory, you gotta get these pops. The Golden Demogorgon from Stranger Things, I own this pop. Love Stranger Things. I have most of the Stranger Things pops, which is a crazy collection to try and collect. I'm not a huge fan of like color variant pops, like when it's just one color or chrome. I got a really, really good deal on the gold Demogorgon, so I had to pick it up. Mira from the Dark Crystal. This is the first Dark Crystal pop we've seen from the, what is it called, the Age of the Resistance or whatever, the newer Netflix TV show. So as soon as we seen this get released, I was like, oh, I can't wait for the show to come out, one, and I can't wait to see all the different pops they're going to make, and they did not let us down. They came up with a lot of Dark Crystal pops after this, and it's awesome. I own just about every Dark Crystal pop there is to own. HR Puff and Stuff. I couldn't believe it when I seen this. My dad is a huge HR Puff and Stuff fan, so as soon as I seen it got announced, I knew I had to buy one. Going along with that, you have Sigmund, which is also a really, really cool pop. I believe this is one of the pops where last year they hinted it on Instagram, where they kind of showed like a corner photo of what it was, and I was like, we made some guesses, and I never would have thought it would have been Sigmund, so that was really, really cool to see. And then, arguably, the best pop from 2019 San Diego Comic-Con is the Kang and Kodos 2-pack from The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror more specifically. Amazing, amazing pops. I couldn't believe it when I got these pops. I was so lucky because I kind of missed out on the first wave that our local EB Games had, and then they got a new stock, and actually DK let me know while I was working. He said, oh, they got one, and he hid it for me, which is kind of sneaky. And then on my break at work, flew over to EB Games, picked it up, and so happy to have this in my collection. Then for 2020, there's some good pops in here too. Most importantly, arguably maybe the best pop of San Diego Comic-Con 2020, the Michelangelo with the surfboard, which is really, really cool. He's given the cowabunga. On the surfboard, it says cowabunga. He's wearing pizza shorts, and also on the surfboard, it has the logo for San Diego Comic-Con, which again is one of those pops where if you went to the con, this is a really, really cool one to pick up to remember your time there. He-Man Masters of the Universe pops. These are alright. It's characters that are kind of side characters, but they do have a lot of details, so that's pretty cool. The Zim with the Mini Moose, I would say probably the worst Invader Zim pop we've ever seen so far, but it's cool to see that they're still kind of picking up on that franchise, I guess. And then The Office. I'm kind of new to The Office, and I love the show, and I actually just watched this specific episode just a couple days ago. It is Dwight Schrute as Recyclops, and we kind of talked about on the podcast how some people are calling it like Recyclops 2.0, but it definitely is the third version of Recyclops, and it is awesome. So this is another one where it's hard because like I really, really love that Recyclops, and I really do like that Michelangelo, but I do own 4 of the pops from the TV category from last year, so for that reason alone, 2019's got to take the TV category. So last but not least, we have the miscellaneous category. There's kind of a wide variety of pops here. For 2019, there's 2 Harry Potter pops, which are pretty decent pops. Rita Skeeter, which is a pretty detailed pop, and it looks pretty cool. And then the Fox, which is flocked, and this is awesome. The red, like, Sith Trooper, I guess is what the name would be from Star Wars. That's an alright pop. The green Yoda and green Boba Fett that are chrome. Not a huge fan of chrome pops. There's 3 different Rat Finks. Ugly, kind of pukey green chrome version, which kind of sucks. There's like a black chrome, which is actually kind of cool, I guess. And then there's the glow-in-the-dark Rat Fink, which is definitely the best one. Then there's the Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the comic books, not the Netflix series. This is really, really cool. I believe I do own this pop, if I'm not mistaken. Then for 2020, we have Steve Aoki from Pop Rocks, which is really, really cool. The Hello Kitty pop of the robot version. This is alright. This lineup of Hello Kitty pops is kind of just mediocre in my opinion, but I could see a lot of people really, really wanting these pops. The Sith Jet Trooper, which is kind of just like the other Trooper, but a little bit better. But I do have one gripe, is because of the stand that it's on, which is kind of like the smoke coming up from the Jet Trooper. They have this weird Star Wars logo that kind of just cuts like some of the cloud off, and it just looks really, really odd to me. So that pop's kind of mediocre in my opinion. And then we have Harry Potter from the, what is it? I think it's Quidditch or something. It's an alright pop. We'll probably see Ron next is my guess. So there's only 4 pops for the miscellaneous category for 2020. It's kind of hard to compete with 2019, but 2019 had a lot of chrome pops, and I really don't like that, so 2020 gets the point for miscellaneous. So basically, after tallying up, it's a tie. That's 4-4 for 2020 and 2019. I kind of got to decide now, like, which year I thought was better overall. You could argue that there's more 2019 pops, so they win automatically, but 2020 also had a lot of really, really quality pops. I think I gotta give it to 2019 just for the sheer fact that I own more pops from that con from last year compared to which ones I want from this year. 2019 definitely wins this. But anyways, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new here, and hit that little notification bell to be notified when future content like this gets released. And don't forget to comment and let us know, did you think 2019 was better because there was a lot more pops, or did you think 2020 was better because there was quite a few really, really good quality pops? But anyways, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. Peace in, peace out.